Monopolies. Monopolies received often some unfavourable press. Often people think that monopoly means that the firm and the industry are one. For example, water is usually supplied by one company, that's a monopoly. In some countries, such as Israel where I live, by and large, the bus company is a monopoly. The Egged bus company has a monopoly on some of the travel routes. In Britain, where I come from, the railways until 1997 were a monopoly. It was all under British Rail. And another example of a monopoly is De Beers over the diamonds, diamond mines, diamond processing, polishing, cutting, and also owning marketing. That's having various marketing facilities. Monopolies, the first name that comes is De Beers. And the question, the monopoly, unlike perfect competition, is when the firm and the industry are one. Now, one thinks straight away that monopolies can charge what they like, and monopoly is a bad thing, because one of the things happening about monopoly is that monopolies do not suffer competition. The popular stereotype of monopoly is that they are making fortunes on the public expense, because unlike perfect competition, there are no price wars with a monopoly, but the public is at the mercy of the monopoly. An example was, and this was through no fault of Bill Gates, that the 1980s, one of the favourite cases, was that Microsoft had a very strong stake in the internet, also on the software. And if there's no competition with the software, and that Microsoft has got too much strength, it's not in the public interest, that firms should be able to carry on without competition. The public benefits from the competition as you get cooler, choicer, and more, choicer, and also cheaper products. Competition is generally regarded as a good thing. So, what we're going to have a look at is three things. The first thing we're going to see is how it is that a monopoly maximises its profits. The second thing we're going to have a look at here, we're going to consider is, does the monopoly work out in favour of the producer and the consumer? You would say, it's the producer's fault. Not necessarily. And thirdly, we may briefly have a look at, should governments get involved? How do governments get involved with monopoly? And should they get involved with monopoly? Or is there any case where perhaps it's equally desirable that governments should be able to have a monopoly? We're going to look at those 3 points. Let's firstly have a look at how does a monopoly work? Well, in order to do so, how does it maximise its profits? Let's look at the position of the monopolist. Let's invent a product, teach it, and call the product the widgets. Nobody knows quite what I mean by widgets. Don't worry, I also don't know what I mean by widgets. What I know about widgets is as follows. Let's put the word up. Widgets. But what we know about widgets is that people want them. But we also know that they're very, very rare. And the other thing is that our widget monopoly is the only source, the only place that produces monopoly. So let's say there's monopoly about widgets. Let's have a look and see what issues the monopolist is going to face. We're going to do it as a table. How many widgets are produced? That was the first table. widgets. I'm going to be having a look at price per widget. That's something that is set by the demand curve, and we will consider this in a few moments. Secondly, total revenue. Total revenue is the total amount of money that comes from the sale of widgets. And then finally, it's not very nice, let's make it straighter, more like it, important, marginal revenue, which is how much money, extra money, was earned by this widget. Widget number one. Now, let us guess or make a suggestion that widgets are extremely rare and everybody wants them. And the widget factory has just made one widget. And let's say that according to supply and demand, according to the demand curve, you would get $1,000 for the widget. That's what the public's prepared to pay. So therefore, the total revenue, if the factory only makes one widget, is $1,000. And the marginal revenue, well, if they didn't sell that widget, they wouldn't get anything. So the marginal revenue is $1,000. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Let's say that the factory made two widgets. The total number of widgets produced, 2. Now, what would be the price per widget? Think about it for a moment. One widget is extremely rare, so the market price per widget is $1,000. 2 widgets isn't so rare. Right? You can't say I'm the only person in the world that's got a widget. So if there's 2 around, it won't fetch $1,000. Well, let's say that it's let's say that it gets 900. Okay. Each widget gets 900. So for the total revenue, it's 2 times 900, which is 1,800. And therefore the marginal revenue is, well, look, have a look at it. If they sell one widget, you get 1,000. If they sell 2 widgets, it's 1,800. Therefore the marginal revenue is 800. By creating a second widget, he's only getting 800 extra, not 1,000 extra. Let's take it further. 3 widgets, well, that's becoming even more common. So each one will be getting $800. 3 8 is 24. And therefore the marginal revenue will be 1,800 to 2,400 will be 600. 4 widgets. Let's say they sell for 700. 4 sevens are 28. 100. Then again, so the marginal revenue will be 400. 5 widgets. 600, let's say. More common, so each one will only go for 600. 3,000. And again 200. 6 widgets. 500 each. And the marginal revenue for that will be 3,000. The total revenue will be also 3,000. No difference as far as his revenue is concerned whether he makes 6 widgets or 5. His marginal revenue will be 0. Why does he produce 7? Ooh, that looks a bit ugly. If you're going to produce 7, what's his marginal revenue? Each one will go for 400. Remember? The more common the widgets are, the less they go. So for the purpose of this demonstration, 400. 2,800. 4 is actually getting less total revenue for producing 7 as well for getting 6. So therefore, how much did he get for the last one? It actually cost him money to produce it. So we'll call it minus 200. Etc., etc., etc. That's our table. Let's now do the following. Let's just show that on the graph. And before we do that, let's just compare this with the situation in perfect competition. A person who's producing hamburgers, right, from a van, and there are 200 vans in the city, and he produces an extra hamburger, it's not going to make a difference. He's not going to undermine the value of the hamburgers in the city. If the going rate for a hamburger in the city is $3, and he produces another one, it'll also retail for $3. He's not going to cut down the value of the hamburgers in the city, because there are hundreds of places where you can get hamburgers from. Not because the hamburger industry is not a monopoly. The hamburger industry is typically perfect competition, right? And an extra hamburger isn't going to bring down the value of the hamburgers. Not so with Monopoly and not so with widgets. So therefore, what we actually see from this table is that the public might like widgets, but if there's only a monopoly will only produce as many widgets as he can maintain his profits, so that he can maximise his profits. The question we ask you now is, well, in that case, how many widgets should he produce? Well, I don't think he'd be producing 7, because he actually lose, right, by producing that 7th one. But should he produce 5? Should he produce 4? Should he produce 3? 2? The answer is, from this table, we don't know. We're now going to take it to the next stage. We're going to plot this on a graph. Price here and cost. We're going to have 2 sets. So far, we're only looking at revenues, right, which is the amount of money that's coming in. We are not looking at costs. We will come to costs in a few moments. Right, output is here. Now, let's assume that the demand for widgets, which is typical with things of monopoly, and let's assume that the demand curve for widgets is price inelastic in demand. So we will put a slightly inelastic curve. That's the demand for widgets. Sorry, wrong colour. That's the demand curve for widgets. Now, the demand curve for widgets is price per widget. 1 widget will get you 1,000. 2 widgets, 900. 3 widgets, 800, and so on. That's the demand curve. But whereas in perfect competition, the demand curve and the marginal revenue curve is the same. This is not true with monopolies, because the more widgets that you actually produce, the less marginal revenue you're going to get. And that's the special with monopoly. It's actually true of other business structures, as we will see. But it does not happen in perfect competition. This is going to be a steeper curve, and that's going to be your marginal revenue. Okay? So far, all this is new. Because this is the first business structure that we're looking at where the marginal revenue and the demand curve is not the same. Because if, for example, we're going to be producing 5 widgets, this is going to be the demand curve says that for 5 widgets here, if that's the output, that's how much you're going to be getting. But you're going to be getting a lot less. But the marginal revenue, but you're actually getting far less. So that if you get down to here, right, and you're producing this number, right, you might be getting 200, but your marginal revenue will be minus 200. Okay? Or actually, you might be getting 400, but the marginal revenue, right, is minus 200. So, with that knowledge, let's answer the question, well, where does he maximise his profits? And the rule for maximising his profits now takes you into familiar territory. We haven't got any information yet because we don't know how much it costs the person to be able to manufacture widgets. Let's put the cost curve in. Here's your average total cost. Same as in perfect competition. And here is your marginal cost, MC. The rule is that we produce where marginal cost equals marginal revenue with marginal cost rising. So therefore, the price is as follows. Right? The output is as follows. Where marginal cost equals marginal revenue, which is at this point, the output is fixed. Does that mean that he's going to charge at this point? No, sir. Because the public's prepared to pay a lot more. The public is prepared to go all the way up, and that output, right, because it's that rare of the output, that's what the public's prepared to pay. Remember that the rarer the product it is, and the more it's needed, the more the public's prepared to pay. And there's your price, E1. Remember that it's determined the same as in all other businesses, when all of the business structures, when we're profit maximizing, same as in perfect competition, that we continue to produce till marginal cost equals marginal revenue. That is the marginal cost curve, that is the marginal revenue. So therefore, our monopolist seems to be doing quite well for himself. Right? Now, as long as he covers his average total costs, it's fine. But what about all the extra? This is going to be abnormal profit, because he's covered his average total costs, but the public are going to be paying him a lot more. This we will put NP, which is a normal profit, which means at the price where he can actually cover his costs. All this that I've shaded in purple is the level of abnormal profits. So, because that's at the position where profit maximization and marginal cost equals marginal revenue. That is the position in this diagram. So therefore, that is what the monopoly diagram has actually showed you. And what we've learned today in monopolies is that monopolies, if they're in profit maximizing, which is very, very typical, will continue to produce at the point that marginal cost equals marginal revenue, because the moment the marginal cost is higher than marginal revenue, they're beginning to lose. How will they actually charge? Will be what the demand curves, indicates. Now, question: are they going to be able to keep up making abnormal profits? Right? I said abnormal. It should be abnormal profits. The answer is yes. Because the only thing that can bring down their abnormal profits, one of the main external factors is they're going to get competition. And the answer is that as long as a monopoly doesn't get any competition, it can carry on with the same prices as long as the demand remains the same, as long as the costs remain the same. The monopoly will be able to enhance its normal profits. This concludes the first part of our discussion about the monopoly, because we now know how a monopoly prices its products. And also, we learn about how a monopoly, we know that a monopoly is able, unlike perfect competition, to be able to keep its abnormal profits. It all looks very nice for the monopoly. But as in the next video, we're going to find this is not necessarily the case. And it doesn't necessarily all the time work out in favour of the sometimes it can actually be good for the public. Monopolies exist. We will unravel these mysteries next. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.